I got big ring, you mad, get stained, work hard, then play, bad bitch, my taste, we vibe, we lay, you purple, you gay, you need ass, lil' fame, I won't walk, not the same, for wrong, for wrong, these people, for wrong, I try to tell these motherfuckers time and time, for wrong, pussy ass, purple ass nigga, man, for wrong, nigga your born ass right, niggas better get their weight up, you little body bitch. Worry about a damn pay cut, you little body bitch. I ain't worried about none of these niggas, little body bitch. You that scare rag, cowed ass little body bitch. Had to fuck around and get my rank up, you little body bitch. And I'm pouring up, y'all young nigga, and I'ma take a sip. Yeah. All these niggas want down hate, but tell them zip it lip. And you a dumb ass, scare ass boy, little body bitch. Damn. And I ain't worried about nothing, nigga, nah, I ain't worried about shit. I got more than one, so you know nigga don't reminisce. I spit flavors on these damn beats, niggas better catch a pitch. Never knew a goddamn man be scared to represent. But you a whole ass, dirt ass, little damn body ass nigga. Get body with the damn scripture with your little body ass nigga. Nigga, I'm a true priest, true lion nigga, true Zion ass nigga. Fuck wrong. Get your shit together, fuck wrong. Work. I'ma do this shit till I write, you little body bitch. I'ma ditch your ass like your pot, you little body bitch. And I smooth with it, y'all zop, you little body bitch. And I switch nigga on that thought, you little body bitch. And I'ma stay determined like the guys, you little body bitch. And I'm stone cold like a bond, you little body bitch. And I'm a warrior like Dan Gabar, you little body bitch. And my aim like not a zop, you little body bitch. Need a princess papa, you little body bitch. Or anyone down the slide, you little body bitch. Yeah. I keep a couple straps in my ride, you little body bitch. Just in case anyone wanna die, cause I'm body bitch. I got be right, you mad, get stained, work hard, then play, bad bitch, my taste, we vibe, we lay, we purple, we gay, you need tails, lil' fame, I won't walk, not the same, fuck wrong. Fuck wrong.
Piece on the street. I'll get into that question. I'll get into all your questions. I will also do mi español. Get your questions together, and I'll answer for you. Who's in the line tonight?
No one's joined us.
All right. Yahweh te bendiga, Yahweh te nombre de Yahweh tire sobre ti. Nosotros somos la escuela de procedimiento práctico universal en Santos, Nueva York. Es de 1969 bajo el mando de el general Canales. Es la verdad. Tú eres hombre hispano, negro o indio nativo, tú eres Israel, el pueblo elegido de Dios. Tu madre, padre, dicen que somos culto y mantienen su iglesia sin culpa, pero su iglesia es culpable de todo lo que nos está pasando. I'll take your question whenever you had them.
Counselor, I want to big up Tazaria, Captain Allah, and Ataza. We're having a sit down with one of the detectives from the NYPD today to talk about gun violence.
How did we go?
I thought it went pretty well.
And then a lot of two to the present themselves before Captain showing. Please,
General.
please.
I would like a breakdown on 2 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 14.
11 and 14, no problem. Also, the topic for tonight, I just recall, the topic is the solution for broken Black and Hispanic families. Tonight, you will receive the solution for broken Black and Hispanic families. They've been in the news a lot lately. The brothers called me about Cam Newton. Some big video clip of Cam Newton being questioned by some woman about why he's destroying families or creating broken homes. Has everyone seen that? You see it tonight. Also, Saucy Santana. He's a famous member of the LGBT community. Very flamboyant. He did a video where he told his mother that he knows that his lifestyle choice was because he was molested as a child. From the age of 9. He told everyone in the family, of course, half of the family did not believe him. The other half of the family had to go to war with that half to try to get the brother some help. In the end, they just swept it under the rug for the sake of what? Peace. For the sake of peace in the home. Today, you're going to receive the solution to fix the broken Black and Hispanic family. We'll do it tonight. Please, I'm ready for your question. Come
on. Breakdown on 2 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 14. Mm-hmm. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light.
Just that? Read one verse above it.
Verse 13. For such are false apostles, deceitful workers.
One more verse above it.
Verse 12. But what I do, that I will do, that I may cut off occasion from them with desired occasion.
You gotta read it. Read that one more time, please.
Verse 12. But what I do, that I will do, that I may cut off occasion from them with desired occasion.
Let me give, for my time's sake, let me just break it down for you briefly, all right? I'm sorry. This entire precept, this breakdown is about Paul trying to defend his men from unscrupulous and terrible people that would destroy his camp. Men that would teach his camp a doctrine contrary to God's doctrine. And Paul was under this attack constantly. You had some people trying to say that you should worship angels. Some people trying to say that God wanted you to be a vegetarian. Some people trying to say that, you should, that the Israelites should, go back to Egypt. That was in Jeremiah. Should worship the Roman gods and to become pagans and idolaters. So Paul had to constantly deal with that. And so right now he's saying that the things that he does, he's doing it to preserve you, to make sure that you stay on the proper path. You understand? Keep going.
That wherein they glory, that they may be found even as we.
Keep going.
Verse 13. For such are false apostles, deceitful workers,
Go ahead.
transforming.
One more time.
For such are false apostles.
For such are what?
False apostles.
Here's the point. For such are false apostles, right? And there are so many false apostles in this world, just like it was in the ancient world. You had 1,000 different sects within Israel. Then you had sects by the Romans and the Greeks, worshiping the Roman and the Greek gods. What do you have today? You have the Christian church. You have the Muslim mosque. You have every different funny little Israelite group, every ridiculous Christian group, the Seventh-day Adventists, the Jehovah's Witnesses, 1,000 different Christian groups, 1,000 different sects of Islam, but there's only one truth. And because there's only one truth, you're going to have to stand strong against the lies. For such are false apostles. Creflo Dollar is a false apostle. The Pope that sits in the Vatican is a false apostle. T.D. Jakes, Louis Farrakhan, and Martin Luther King. All false apostles that have deceived many. You understand? They deceived so many people that you would think they actually were sent by God, because so many people believed them. It's a sea of people that believe that Martin Luther King was truly a man of God. And if you are not careful, you will get caught up in that wave. Paul wanted to protect his men. He didn't want them to get caught up in the same wave as everyone else, because the Bible says what? Wide is the path that leadeth to destruction, and many there be that enter therein, but narrow is the gate that leadeth into everlasting life, and few there be that enter therein. So as you grow up and become a man, you're going to have to avoid being fooled the way that the masses of people are being fooled. That's what this is about. Please,
Make sure you grab the mic, all right?
Sir. Sir, if I may, I saw like a couple of weeks ago, I saw a video of Gino Jennings saying that he had done more work than Jesus Christ.
Who said that?
Gino Jennings.
I heard that. The brothers told me about Gino Jennings. He said Jesus Christ only worked for 3 years. He worked for 20 years. Can you imagine the gall and the arrogance to pick up a book written about Jesus Christ to say you're better than Jesus Christ? Well, Gino Jennings is small compared to how many false prophets there are out here. Your grandmother is caught up with most of them. Your wife, your daughters will be caught up with most of them. Every simple idiot on your job will follow some fool who believes that he knows God's mind better than God. He's a false prophet. She's a false prophet. Every female pastor is a false prophet. Every last one, regardless of name, she's a false prophet. Anyone who is claiming to be a preacher of God who is not black or Hispanic is a false prophet, regardless of name, regardless of religion. They're a false prophet. Everyone understands. Keep going.
Deceitful workers.
What?
Deceitful workers.
They're lying, Ak. They're lying. And lies are so powerful, Ak. They're so powerful because you are simple and stupid. And you're the perfect person to believe a lie. And that's why young men need fathers to protect them from the liars round about. Continue.
Transforming themselves into the apostles of Christ.
Doing what?
Transforming themselves into the apostles of Christ.
I believe the point is being brought home to you now. I believe you get it right now. They transform themselves into the apostles of Christ. They'll make you think that Martin Luther King is actually a man of God because his oration was so beautiful. And the march he had was so magnificent. And the statues of him, and he's on TV every day. They transform themselves into the disciples of Christ, but they're not. They're not. Keep going.
Verse 14. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light.
You understand that? No marvel. I mean, you shouldn't be surprised when you see people like Martin Luther King and the entire planet believes that he's a man of God. Why? Because Satan himself can transform himself into an angel of light. You have the entire planet worshiping a white man as Jesus Christ today. Everyone on the earth, even Muslims, believe Jesus Christ is white. The entire planet believes that some filthy devil is actually Jesus Christ, the chosen one, the King of Israel. Why? Because winners make history. That's why. Right. Because the people in charge are allowed to tell all of us what history was. The people in charge are allowed to tell us who God is. The people in charge are allowed to tell us who we should worship, and they're allowed to punish us when we don't worship the God they want us to. So because of that, the whole world is worshiping a devil as if he is actually the King of Israel, who is a black man from the tribe of Judah. Who would believe you? Almost no one. Almost no one. Why? Because Satan himself can transform himself into an angel of light. Everyone believes a lie. You understand?
Come.
Is that it?
The water.
Questions. Next. Proximo. How do I say next in Spanish, warrior? Say again. Proximo. Go ahead.
If you're ready to eat, you could go outside and grab some food, all right?
Proximo. Please, Ephraim.
Tawara, sir. Yahweh Shah Shabakata. If I can, just a quick brief breakdown. I mean, you even like coming here, like this verse, this part of the verse came to me, and I just had to look it up. The book of John, chapter 15, verses 18 through 17.
Okay, is there a specific point?
Kaudakan, sir. Basic 18 through 27, Salakia. Here we go. Just when it says, verse 18, if the world hate you, ye know that it hated me before it hated you. Like, the reason I'm asking is because, like, just being outside, I feel the spirits, the demons, like just random strangers, you know, the hate, you know, and it's like Esau, just from what I see on TV, following CNN and the election stuff, they don't even hide their contempt for our people. I don't know if anymore. I don't know if they ever did.
Forget about it.
Salakia, sir. But yeah, just a brief, like I don't know, like if I feel I'm getting hate now in my mind, I'm thinking, well, that means the Most High must love me because the world's hating me. But sometimes it's like at the same time, like, you know, with Paul, with the Apostle Paul with the split mind, it's like, you know, I sometimes I still search validation, you know, and you know, it's like I want people to like me, and it's like that's not what I'm supposed to be doing. Salakia. So
let me tell you,
the water, sir.
No problem, Warrior. I give him a hand for the question now. But let me tell you. Okay, to answer your question, you'll need to understand two things, right? One, you don't ever want hate to be something in your mind, right? When hate is not tangible, when hate is not they said this to me, they did this to me, then hate can simply be paranoia. Do you understand? Hate can simply be something that's in your mind, an insecurity, a demon that you have that's trying to make you fearful or threatened by people who are not a threat to you. The Bible says that the wicked flee when none chaseth. You don't want to be someone that always thinks people are against you or are plotting on you when you don't have any evidence that they're doing it. You understand? So that's step one. No one hates you. No one loves you until they show you the evidence of it. Right. That's it. Everyone is not thinking about you. You understand? They're thinking about their own lives and their own problems and how their wife is getting on their damn nerves. They're not thinking about you. So you want to start with that. Now, what is this precept speaking about? Christ is speaking to the men that he knows he's about to leave in a world that is going to absolutely hate them because they fight for what he taught. Do you understand? And we're living in that world right now today under commanding General Yohana, who serves Jesus Christ. This world thinks that we're a cult and that we're crazy and that we're criminals simply because we teach what Jesus Christ taught 2,000 years ago. Nothing else. If it was actions that made men hate you, clearly they would hate the Christian church for molesting their children. If actions made men hate you, clearly they would hate the Catholic Church and the Catholic priests who rape their sons. Right. But actions aren't what make people hate you today. Clearly you would hate Islam. Right here in New York, the people hate us, but they love Islam in New York, even after 9/11. Even after 9/11. But we're the crazy ones. We're the cult. We're the ones that everybody hates. Why? Because men aren't looking at actions at all to decide who loves them and who hates them. Men are looking at who does the white man like? Who does the white man approve of? Who do white people say are good or bad? And they base their opinion on that and nothing else. Jesus Christ knew that. And he knew that after he left, the men that stood for what was right, that stood for the supremacy of Jesus Christ and what he taught, that stood for the supremacy of blacks and Hispanics, he knew that they would be hated for that. Even though the reverse of that is absolute slavery and subjugation under another people. They knew that they would be hated for simply trying to free people who God wanted to be free. So because of that, you better get ready for hatred. Because they're not going to hate you because they hate you or they find something wrong with you. But when you go out on that street corner and when you go on the internet and you say that Jesus Christ is a black man, which should be good news to the slaves who suffer every day and who are hated for the color of their skin, you would think that would be good news. It won't be. You would think when you tell the Puerto Ricans, the Mexicans, the Haitians, the Guatemalans that they are the chosen people of God, you would think that would be good news to a people who are suffering and in poverty and swim across a river just to get to Texas and be put in jail. You would think that would be good news. It won't be. It won't be at all. Men will hate you because they hated him first. You understand? That's what the precept is about. Próximo.
Any other questions in the room?
Please. New Jersey, you got it, Doc. How you doing? The water for the Scotch, Doc. And what's this in here tonight?
Sherry Wood Oak.
Sherry Wood Oak tonight, Levi. This is a special occasion.
Shalom,
Go
Madawan.
ahead.
I wanted to get a brief understanding of Luke chapter 18, verses 16 and 17. This book, Luke chapter 18, verse 16. But Yahushua Mashiach called them unto him and said, suffer little children to come unto me, and forbid them not, for of such is the kingdom of God. Verse 17.
You want a specific breakdown or?
Because I wanted to understand the context of the precept, because in 17 is where I kind of got a little confused. Verse 17. Verily I say unto you, whosoever shall receive the kingdom of God as a little child shall in no wise enter therein.
Well, this goes into my topic tonight, which is what is the solution for the broken Black and Hispanic family? That's a great myth that we all live under. That Black fathers are not around, which is a myth. That's a lie. Black fathers are around more than white fathers. Right. That's a statistical fact. It's been proven already. But of course, all of us grow up under this myth that if you're Black, then if you're Hispanic, you're going to grow up in a broken home. Well, I have the solution for it tonight, if that's what you want. This precept is right on my topic. So read where your question is, please.
Khan, Salaki. In verse 17, when it says, verily I say unto you, whosoever shall not receive the kingdom of God as a little child shall in no wise enter therein.
Let me break it down for you, New Jersey. Was there anything else?
La'ah.
So I'll help you out with this right now. First, Jesus Christ, let me give you the context. Jesus Christ is out teaching, right? And imagine a bunch of little kids wanting to come and play with him, the way little kids are. They want to come and jump on you and talk to you. Well, his disciples were holding post. They were on shamar. They were guarding. So they did not let the children come close to Christ, which was their duty and responsibility. But when Jesus Christ saw it, he said, no, suffer the little children unto me, meaning allow them to come and play with me. So then he got down, he starts to, be nice to the kids and talk to the children. And then he used them for a teaching tool. And he said this, read it again.
Khan. Verily I say unto you, whosoever shall not receive the kingdom of God as a little child.
Whosoever shall not receive the kingdom of God as a little child, go ahead,
shall in no wise enter therein.
Then you're not going to get the kingdom of God. Why? Because you're not receiving it as a little child. What is the kingdom of God?
The law, statutes, and commandments.
Let me make it simpler for you. The kingdom of God is the personality that will be inside of the men who rule when Jesus Christ returns. Because of their personality, their conduct. You have an election right now in America being run by two people of poor character. Both of them. That's right. Both of them have absolutely terrible character. But of course, these are the representatives that America wants to choose. People like them. People like the average American citizen who is of terrible character. Well, the kingdom of heaven is not going to be run by people like them. You're going to have to be a person of character, of dignity, of honor. Because you're that kind of person, the Most High God puts you in charge in the future. Now, if you can't receive the kingdom of heaven like a child would, then you cannot rule when Jesus Christ returns. If you can't accept this personality like a child, now let me give you the reverse. You accept the personality, the character that God has, You accept it like an adult. How do adults accept new things? They reject them. Do you understand? They reject them. You try to get someone not to eat pork. You say, brother, you should stop eating pork. You should stop eating crab. What would they say? I've been eating pork my whole life. I've been celebrating my birthday my whole life. Hey, you got to give up Christmas. I've been celebrating Christmas since I was a little boy. Inevitably, when you try to change someone's character, they will say, I can't change because I've been like this too long. Right. You're never getting the kingdom, because a little child would accept whatever name he's given. A little child would eat whatever the parents said to eat. A little child would not reject something because he's set in his ways or stubborn. Do you understand? But what do? You reject giving up pork, giving up shrimp, giving up crab, giving up having sex with filthy white women, having sex with filthy Africans. You won't do that. Why? Because you've been doing this your whole life.
Right.
Do you understand?
You're
going to have to be like a child, Doc, which means what? You'll have to start over. You have to have an open heart that is willing to start over, or else you're going to die here. You'll never see the future. You'll never rule in the future. This is your home where you get all the things that you've been getting since you were a child.
The water, sir.
Next, próximo.
Count out of one. Count. We have questions online.
Please.
A sister asked, Salakia, sir, if I may, can I get a general breakdown of Job chapter 5 and verse 7 through 8?
Of course. Job 7 through 8.
5 and verse 7 through 8.
No problem. Let's go.
Job chapter 5 and verse 7. Yet man is born unto trouble as the sparks fly upward. Yeah. Verse 8. I would seek unto God, and unto God would I commit my cause.
Yeah, this is Job just speaking about the terrible troubles that can happen to you in this life. Job knew about them well. Remember, Job lost all of his children, lost all of his livestock, and lost the respect of his wife. He lost everything up, and he knows that is how life is sometimes. Read that first part again.
One kind. Yet man is born unto trouble as the sparks fly upward.
Man is born into trouble as the sparks fly upward. So imagine a fire, fire and sparks fly up from a campfire. That's what life is like for a man. That's what life is like. Just everything catching on fire. There's so much danger. If a spark flies up, what happens? It starts a forest fire. The sparks that fly up start a bigger fire. That's how life is. Life is like that. Just trouble after trouble, danger after danger. That's the condition of being here. Continue.
Verse 8, I would seek unto God. And
I would do what?
I would seek unto God.
Because there's so much danger, he would seek unto God. You should be seeking him out. Why? Because you live in a dangerous place, Doc. A terrible place. Our oppressor rules this world, Doc. And he makes this place unlivable for anyone that doesn't please him. And now here we are, born here, trying to raise children here. You better seek unto the Most High God for your help. Continue.
And unto God would I commit my cause.
And unto God will he commit his cause. The things that he does, he knows that they cannot last. They cannot be successful unless he does them the way that God wants him to do them. If you want to be rich, you cannot decide to be rich like our oppressor, the so-called white man, decides to be rich. What will the white man do to be rich? Anything. He has no morals. He has no code of conduct. The ends justify the means when it comes to the so-called white man. He will do anything at all. He will kill his father for the insurance money, for the inheritance money. He will do anything at all. He'll poison the entire planet Earth. He'll make Facebook addictive simply so that he can make more money. He'll do anything. He'll sell drugs like Ronald Reagan sold drugs in California. He doesn't have any morals at all. Now, when you decide that you want to make money, you can't do it like him because you're in a danger he's not under. You understand? Your life is in peril that he'll never understand. You will have to commit your cause unto God. You want to make money? No problem, you can. But you cannot do it the way the white man does it. You're going to have some morals. That's what drug dealers realized. Drug dealers thought that they could get rich the same way the Kennedys got rich. You can't. The same way Al Capone got rich. You cannot. God desires something more of you. Let me tell you one thing about black people, if I could, and Hispanics, that is so wonderful, but black people hate it. And Hispanics hate this. Have you ever heard someone say this phrase? You know, black people will say that they can't do the things that white people do. Meaning, if the white man tries to set up a business, you know, he has all kinds of restrictions on him that white people do not have. If a black man is rich, his community wants him to support his old neighborhood. When white people never say, well, do you support the people from your hometown in Kentucky or from your hometown? White people are never under the burden of giving back to their community. They never have the pressure that black people have when they go to have success. They never have it at all. And many times black people will hate that because they don't want that pressure. They want to be able to just focus on being rich and having a good life. You can never do that because you're better than white people. Right. You're better than them. So because of that, if you make money, they'll go, well, did you help out your neighborhood? Did you look out for the people you grew up with? Did you look out for the people that live where you live? Where is Elon Musk from? Is he helping? You don't even know where the hell he's from. Who cares? Did Donald Trump help all of the people that he was born around? Who knows and who gives a damn? That Donald Trump is not under an obligation to look out for his neighborhood, to look out for the people he grew up with. Why? Because he's white, and white people don't have to have morals. But if you're black, the minute you have success, they'll go, well, did you help out your neighborhood? Did you look out for the people from where you're from? That is good, Akim. That's a good thing, man. Don't ever try to be like white people. Don't ever not want the burden of morality that comes with being a successful black or Hispanic man. Don't be like him, which is what Job is trying to say. He feels that burden. He knows it's dangerous. And because of that, he'll commit himself unto God. Everyone understands. Keep going. I'm sorry, Boston.
Shalom, sir.
Shalom, Maury.
In verse 8, could that be a cut towards reparations?
Let me hear.
In verse 8, it reads, Salakia, I will seek unto God, and unto God would I commit my cause. Could that be a cut toward reparations instead of looking towards our enemy?
You got to explain what you mean.
I mean, I might be lost after my cause part, but as of right now, I see us seeking unto our enemies for everything that we want.
I got you. So you mean like black people who fight and go to Congress for reparations as opposed to going to the Most High? That would be a cut for reparations, which will never happen, by the way. Reparations is a joke, and it could never happen. Does America have free health care right now? No, they do not. You know the reason that America does not have free health care? America does not have free health care because places like Mississippi and Kentucky and Alabama, poor white people vote against free health care because they don't want black people to get it. White people will vote against them receiving free health care if they know blacks and Hispanics will get it. It was always amazing to me to see some poor dummy white man in Alabama go, you're giving out things for free? We can't have free health care. He's on welfare. But in his mind, if health care is free, black people will get it. And he would rather pay for his medicine than have black people receive free health care. That's why there's so many things in America that are not like it is in Europe. In Europe, they have so many free things, free health care, free this, free that. Those things get voted down here by poor white people who need it. Because poor white people would rather be poor than let you be rich. Do you understand? Reparations will never happen because whoever decides to push it through the Congress is losing the next election. Right. You understand? Próximo.
Like I said,
Please.
and since we are in the gun violence prevention weekend
Please.
for Commander General Yohana, I wanted to go over the wild bull and the net scripture, Baba Kasha. It's in Isaiah 51 and 20.
Good. Okay.
Whenever you're ready, sir.
I'm ready.
It says, Isaiah 51 and 20, thy sons have fainted. They lie at the head of all the streets.
You want me to break this down for you, or is it something in specific?
The whole scripture about.
I got you. This is a prophecy about blacks and Hispanics who are the chosen people of God. The Lord calls them the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. And this is one of the prophecies that proves who they are today. If you go into the Bible and you look for, the people of Brooklyn, the people of Harlem, you won't find that in the Bible. If you look for African American, you will not find that in the Bible. But you will find ancient people who still live today. Now, how do I know who those ancient people are today? The description of those people. The description still applies right now. So we're going to read about these people, and then you'll know who we're describing. All right, go ahead.
Thy sons have fainted.
Thy sons have what?
Fainted.
The Lord said, thy sons have fainted. The word fainted means weakened. Like if you fall faint because of hunger or faint because of thirst, meaning you're weak. Your sons are weak. Keep going.
They lie at the head of all the streets.
Beautiful precept. They lie at the head of all of the streets. What is the head of the street called? The corner. The corner is the head. It's the top of the block. It's the head of the street. Your sons are weak and they lie at the head of all the streets. Your sons are weak and they're on the corner. Why is it saying lie on the corner? Because that's Old English, like lying in wait. Who knows what that term means? To lie in wait. To lie in wait means you're waiting somewhere to commit a crime. You're lying in wait to rob somebody or lying in wait to hurt someone. Your sons are on every corner setting up, waiting to hurt someone. This description is the description of blacks and Hispanics today. It's what you'll see right here at 125th Street. It's what you live around. It's where you grew up. Young men laying in wait on a corner, setting up on a corner, wanting to hurt someone. From the time they're what, 11? 11 years old. Keep going.
As a wild bull.
As a what?
Wild bull.
What's their character when they're on this corner?
Wild bull.
They behave like wild bull. Keep going.
In a net.
In a net. So now imagine a wild bull. He's already wild. Now, if you throw a net over that wild bull, he's really going to go wild. You understand? That's your children. This is the description of blacks and Hispanics, and it's in the Bible. And it's God describing the Israelites on how they behave. Like wild animals on a street corner. Like wild animals that you're trying to trap. You're trying to throw a net on them, but they're not having that. Everyone understands. Was that the point or no? Go ahead.
They are full of fury.
They are what?
Full of fury.
Come on now. The description is, I believe, is clear, right? The description is all over YouTube. It's all over every Chicago video. It's all over every one of these videos that people see of some YouTuber filming the gang violence in Chicago. Some YouTuber filming all of the gang violence in Harlem, becoming rich because they can go out and film gangbangers like Adam 22. Because he can go out and have all of the people who are about to be murdered come on his show first and talk about things that will inevitably get them murdered. And he's a millionaire from getting these wild bulls to come on his show and talk about murdering people. Everyone gets rich because we hate each other.
Like
everyone.
Vlad TV.
Vlad TV is another one. Some Vlad TV who makes a living, who prospers because we murder each other. And now they get to use it for entertainment's sake. And there is nothing more entertaining to white people than black people killing each other. It is as old as America. It's as old as Rome. Black people and Hispanics killing each other is excellent entertainment for white people. Everyone understands. Come on.
They are full of fury of the Lord.
They are full of what?
Fury of the Lord.
This fury comes from the Most High God. They're angry. They're angry. Black people know something, brother. You need me. Looks like you. Black people know something that is always on their mind. Black people know something that is always on their mind, but they don't know how to visualize it, conceptualize it, or understand it. You know you should not be as poor as you are. It's something that you know from young, right? Like you know you're sitting there and you're poor and you're suffering, but this is not right. It's wrong to live like this. It's wrong to live in the home that you live in. It feels wrong. It feels like you should have more. You should live in a better place. And then when you turn the TV on and the internet on and you see how white people are living, my God, then you really know you have to do something. The problem is that the thing that you decide to do is to be like white people, and white people are immoral. And so you cannot change your status in society by acting like them. There's a higher burden on you than it is on white people. There's a higher standard. They don't have your standard. They can go out and molest children, rape women, and they're going to become famous for it. They're going to get 34 felonies and become president of the United States. That's what's going to happen. Your burden is higher. Accept that higher burden. Don't run from it. As you're on those street corners all over America and that suffering you feel because of what you've been through, there's a solution for it. There's a solution for that broken family that leads you to lay on that street corner. That leads you to behave so wild in Haiti, so wild in Puerto Rico, so wild in Venezuela, so wild in Harlem and in Brooklyn. There's a solution for it. The solution is not to behave like white people, however. Everyone understands. Asher, please.
Until the 23rd verse.
Go ahead.
The rebuke of thy God.
Yeah, that's why you're angry, because you're being rebuked from God. You know you should not be this poor, living in these projects. You know you have intelligence. You know you have motivation. You know you have zeal. You know you could do something with your life, but it feels like you're just born in hell. Accept that feeling. Don't fight it. God put you here in this hell. God made you born in those projects, in that little country that's starving and suffering in South and Central America. God put you there. Why is that healthy to understand? Because if you believe that God put you in a terrible situation, then God can absolutely bring you out of it. It's accepting this as a punishment so you can accept the solution. You understand, Asher? Keep going.
Verse 21. Therefore, hear now this, thou afflicted and drunken, but not with wine.
Thou afflicted, you're hurt and you're drunk, but you're not drunk with wine. That's not what you're drunk with. You're drunk with something else. There's a reason that you don't believe that you have to be moral to change your financial status. You believe you can sell drugs, become a gangbanger in Chicago, become a gangbanger in Los Angeles. You believe that you'll become a gangbanger and then go on Vlad TV, and now your rap career will take off. You'll become a gangbanger and you'll go on Adam 22's show, and now your rap career will take off because you're a gangbanger. You believe this will help your career until one day you realize that you're not white. And because you're not a white man, there's morality that you have to have. You will never profit from being immoral the way white people do. You won't. Now, if you need to wait, do it for yourself. And then I'll be talking about you in the next class. Everyone understands. All right. God put you there to show you that he disapproves of your lifestyle. Someone else tells you that they approve of your lifestyle. Who approves of your lifestyle? Who believes that God loves you no matter what you do? Who believes that all nations should live together and Jesus Christ is white and God is white and God loves you no matter what you do? You are drunk with Christianity. You're drunk on that. And that's why you never change. If you sell drugs, will God still love you? What do Christians think?
Of course.
Absolutely. If you are a member of the LGBT community, God made me like this.
God loves you.
God loves me anyway. God loves Christians no matter what they do. Then why would anybody change? There's no reason to change. You're drunk on Christianity, which is why every drug dealer that sits on Adam 22's show and Vlad TV's show has a cross around their neck. Because no sinner ever feels guilty for anything. They don't feel guilt. They don't feel, which is something that is a treasure to feel. Christians never feel like hypocrites, ever. There is no gay man that is in church reading the Bible that ever thinks, I'm a hypocrite. There's no preacher that's having sex with some man's wife that ever thinks, I'm a hypocrite. And because no one ever feels guilt, no one ever feels the feeling of inner hypocrisy, no one ever changes. And that's why those young brothers are on those street corners. That's why there's gang violence in Chicago, and there's a church on every corner in Chicago. That's why there's gang violence in Los Angeles and in New York. Why? Because there's churches everywhere in New York. Everyone on those street corners believes in Jesus Christ. Every last one of them. But it doesn't affect any change in their life, and it will never. Anything else, Asher?
Answer verse 22. Thus saith thy Lord, the Lord, and thy God that pleadeth the cause of his people. Behold, I have taken out of thy hand the cup of trembling.
Here's a beautiful thing, and this is what's beautiful about being black and Hispanic, the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. The Most High God said, I have taken out of your hand the cup of trembling. Our whole lives, we've had a cup in our hand full of terror, full of pain, full of suffering. Saucy Santana knows, doesn't he? Saucy Santana was born in that house where his cousin was going to rape him. He didn't choose to be born there. He was born there. Our entire lives, we've had a cup of terror in our hand, and we've drank from it our entire lives. Now the Most High God is saying, I'm going to take the cup of trembling from your hand, the cup of fear, if you don't mind, warrior. I appreciate you. Fill that cup up. That's a good one. That's a cup of good scotch. If you don't mind. You mind if I get a little LaFrog, Levi, if it's okay? Let me just say, for tradition's sake. Okay, if it's all right. That cherry wood is excellent, actually. It's excellent. I just want to mix it up, have a little variety if I could. Anyway, the Most High God is taking that from our hands. So we don't have to be afraid anymore. That's the point. We don't have to be in fear anymore. Go ahead.
Even the dregs of the cup of my fury.
That's what we've been forced to drink. The dregs of the cup is a metaphor from drinking wine, especially homemade wine. For you brothers that have ever made homemade wine, there's a sediment at the bottom of the bottle or the bottom of the barrel. And it's the very, very small amount. It's mostly yeast and stuff you don't want to drink. You're drinking that. Go ahead. Very bitter. You don't want to drink that. Well, we're drinking that. Do you understand? That's what we're drinking. Which means what? A cup of terror and fear. We're drinking every last drop. Every last drop. Everyone understands? That's the point.
And he's taking that away.
He's taking that away from us. That's why we're here today in this room in Harlem, New York. That's why we're doing these events on gun violence, because you don't have to do that anymore. There was a time when what solution did you have? Who could you look up to? Your heroes were sinners. Who were your heroes? Martin Luther King, Jay-Z?
Drug dealers.
Your heroes were drug dealers, mobsters and gangsters, and Al Capone, John Gotti. Your heroes were murderers. And if you don't want that hero, you look to your house, right? Who's in there to be a hero?
Mom.
Your mother, who's constantly frustrated, constantly calling you a nigger and a no good mother effer every day because she's frustrated from all of her sin and all of her loneliness. Come on.
Or you're just like your father.
Or you look like your father. You're just like your father. So where do your heroes come from? Oh, you'll go to some sports coach. You'll make him your hero. What's he going to do? Try to touch you. Your football coach and your basketball coach and Jerry Sandusky, who was going to try to touch you. Do you know I went to a football camp with Jerry Sandusky for 3 years? For 3 years, I went to Penn State football camp out. And that Jerry Sandusky knows his defense up. That cat, I'll tell you that straight up. That cat knows something about playing defense. He was a child molester the whole damn time. I knew this cat so well in high school, man. Jerry Sandusky, Coach Sandusky. I knew him so well every summer because the cat was ridiculous about teaching you how to play football. Come to find out, he was waiting for the small little white boys to come there and fiddling and fondling them to no remorse. That's what will happen with your heroes, with the people you look up to. They'll be Coach Sandusky. Go ahead.
Thou shalt no more drink it again.
You're not going to drink it again. This hell is over, brother. Don't you understand that? When Jesus Christ was taken to be crucified, he said, now is the prince of this world cast out. This hell is over. Your suffering is over. You don't have to live like this anymore. You don't have to become a drug dealer. You don't have to sit on Adam 22's in front of his face while some filthy pink devil looks at you and goes, well, who do you have beef with now? Who do you want to shoot? I heard you have. I read something on Instagram where somebody wants to shoot you, and you, because you're so poor, you have to sit there and create drama and beef so this devil can have a reason to invite you on his show. Those days are over, young man. You don't have to do that anymore. Jesus Christ is coming back for his people. Jesus Christ has decided that you're more than just the next prisoner or the next person in a coffin. Barakatah Yahweh Yahweh Shai. Our hell is over. Ephraim. Microphone.
Slacker, sir, if I made two quick things, like when you said that the oppressor not only is it entertainment, it's also business for him. Profit off of that.
Entertainment is big business, is it not? Have you
Khan,
seen NFL, NBA?
Khan.
Entertainment is gigantic.
And the second thing, like regarding Adam 22 and Vlad, when rappers go there, I noticed, I think I read it or I just noticed it, they get a record, a prison record after a record deal, after a felony record.
Right.
And if I made sure, Salaka, I think it's just such a waste that our brothers or sisters made. It's like they sell their soul, sir.
Well, let me tell you, you'd be surprised how willing you would be to sell your soul if you were very poor. Right? Adam 22 and Vlad TV, they couldn't exist without extreme poverty. You understand? Just like boxing could not exist, or the UFC, or football. These things could not exist without black people being extremely poor and willing to do anything to end that poverty. That's going into my topic tonight. Asher, do you have more?
Counselor, last verse.
Go ahead.
Verse 23. But I will put it into the hand of them that afflict thee.
Ooh-wee. This is the gospel. The Lord is going to take the cup of trembling out of our hand, and he's going to put it in the hand of them that have afflicted us. White people, you're going to go through what we went through. White people, you love equality. You about to get some equality. Well, we're going to be equal. Please believe it up. Please believe it. Right now, all you white people out there that are saying, I want equality. You're going into slavery, then we'll be equal. That's what's going to happen. We will be equal. Oh, we're going to be so equal soon. I'm going to take the cup of terror that was in your hand, and I'm going to put it into the hand of the people that terrorize you. Drink up. Everyone understands. Anything else?
Which have said to thy soul, bow down.
What have they said?
Bow down.
What have they said?
Bow down.
They have said to thy soul, bow down. That's what Christianity does to you. Can you imagine? I don't have to tell you because you've been through it. What was it like worshiping a white man every day and seeing your grandmother worship that white picture on your wall? And at the same time, some white man throwing you in jail and some white person abusing you. And at the same time, you go home every day and pray to a white God. They tell your soul to bow down. Your soul, in your heart, they're teaching you that you are not as good as white people. They're God. They're Jesus. You are a filthy nigger, and we're going to beat you in a police car, and you're going to worship us on Sunday. They tell to your soul, bow down. Keep going.
That we may go over.
You understand that? They tell your soul, bow down, that we may go over. They tell you to lay down so they can walk on top of you. Bow down that we may go over. They tell your soul to lay down so they can walk all over you. And that has been history since Rome. Us just laying down, us just saying, yeah, I know I might go to jail for telling Adam 22 about this murder, but I need to tell him to sell records. So they tell him. I know that Vlad TV this is going to be seen by the FBI, but I have to tell Vlad about this crime. Why? Because I'm so poor and I need to make it out the hood. I mean, what it must feel like. Well, one day, Vlad and Adam 22, they're going to jail. They're going to drink every bit of what we've been made to drink. And that is glorious in my sight. Right. I can tell you how a while y'all was shot.
And thou hast laid thy body as the ground.
You understand that? I believe that brought it home to you.
Counselor.
Thou hast laid thy body as the ground. And what have they done? Gone over us. They walk on us. And you go on YouTube and you see Vlad 22, Adam 22 and Vlad TV and 1,000 countless YouTube clips with some idiot white boy going to the hood like he's going to safari. Have you seen these, Akkad? Have you seen? It's like a white boy. He walks into the hood. He goes, "Oh, I'm at 60th and Grange." Ooh, he thinks this white boy thinks he's going on safari. He feels tough when he does it too, Leo. He feels like I'm here at 60th and Wyoming. I'm here at this street in Los Angeles. Oh boy, I'm out here with the animals. One day we're going to walk into a white neighborhood and we're going to go, let me roll my window up. There's white people that live around here. Let me hurry up and drive out of here. There's too many white people all around here begging me, get away from my car, white man. I'm not giving you any money. You ever see a white person begging outside and feel that feeling of happiness? Like when everybody knows that. It's like,
or slumped over in front of the camp.
It's such a feeling. It's such a feeling of happiness when you see a white man come over to your car with that cardboard sign begging. It's like, that's the future. That's what's coming in the future. And why do all white people that are poor have these dogs? Who wants to break that down for me real fast? Why does every poor white man have a dog? That dog must be like, this is the longest walk ever. I ain't been in the house in 2 years. They all have dog. The dog has the dog has the handkerchief. The dog wears a red handkerchief or a blue handkerchief. The white man lives outside forever. When you see that, that's a taste of the future, Akim. A taste of the future. If I was you, I would work hard. I would work hard to make that commonplace in every day. Everyone understands. Go ahead.
Like, sir, one verse. It's Isaiah 52, verse 1, but it's the end of the verse. So it starts off by saying, "Awake, awake, put on thy strength, O Zion, put on thy beautiful garments, O Jerusalem, the holy city. This is the part, sir. For henceforth there shall no more come into thee the uncircumcised and the unclean."
Listen, this is the future, brother. This is why we're working so hard in this school. For henceforth, no more of the uncircumcised and the unclean can come into us. What does come into us mean? Come into us is what you're living with every day, all the time. Huh? Where did you buy your food from today? Supermarket? A black-owned supermarket, I'm sure. A Hispanic-owned supermarket? No, you did not. The uncircumcised and the unclean, they come into us to take all of our resources. Right. They take from us. The Chinese, the Vietnamese, the Koreans, our oppressor who owns the banks, who owns the streets, who owns the traffic lights, who owns everything. They come into our community to get rich. Just like Adam 22 and Vlad TV. Just like them who come into our neighborhoods to get rich. No more. Now, one day, if you want to go into some cave where white people are living, to videotape them and to see their troubles and sadness, that sounds like a good show to me. Anything else? Next. Go ahead.
A brother shared a scripture, sir. Psalms 109 and verse 10. let his children be continually vagabonds and beg.
Oh, what a precept. Let his children be continually vagabonds. And what?
And beg.
And beg. That's how it should be. You see, and you're seeing more and more white people begging on the side of the road with a dog, with a handkerchief wrapped around his neck, with a cardboard sign. That's the future. That's the future. And it's glorious in my sight. Proximo. I gotta get next topic is I gotta get to my topic about the black family and Hispanic family. All right.
Count, sir. That's all. You want to take another question online?
One more. Come on.
One more. My wise ISUPK says, Salak is sir, if I may, with your grace, could I get a general breakdown of Revelations 22 and verse 5?
Of course, my wise. That was a well-spoken question, and I'd be happy to answer it for you. Go ahead.
Revelations 22 and verse 5. And there shall be no night there, and they need no candle, neither light of the sun, for the Lord God giveth them light, and they shall reign forever and ever.
This is speaking about the kingdom of heaven, and it's a metaphor. It's a metaphor for how glorious and how enlightened the kingdom of heaven will be. The term enlightened is about knowledge. It's about having knowledge and having understanding. Like when I'm enlightened, now the light is on in my mind. The kingdom of heaven will not be a place of ignorance the way America is. America is absolutely ignorant. And the people that vote for president are purposefully ignorant of everything. Right. And America loves for everyone to be ignorant. You know, Hulk Hogan was out there at the Republican National Convention. Who knows about that? Do you know that Hulk Hogan came out there and ripped off his shirt at the Republican National Convention? As I watched it, I said, Lord, have mercy. That's the right president for America, Donald Trump. He's the right one. You know, Mean Gene, you know we should vote for Donald Trump. I said, man, there's some dummies here in America. I mean, some stone dummies. And that he should win because he represents the people. He is like them. Well, the kingdom of heaven won't be full of ignorant doofuses and ignorant, dummies everywhere, voting based on popularity. That's not what's going to happen in the kingdom of heaven now. We're going to make a moral place, a place of good conduct, full of good people. You understand? Next, Proximo, in the back, Ephraim. Ephraim in the back. Give him the microphone.
Shalom, everyone.
Proximo, Salaki. I got to remember.
Yeah.
Proximo. Go ahead.
Salaki, so for this version, Revelation 22 and 5, where it says in there, and they need no candle, is this in any similarity to I believe it's in the book of Matthew about the 5 wives with the one husband, like the kingdom of heaven is
totally different purpose. Right, not that. They need no candle. It goes with the rest of the verse, which means they don't need any light at all. Right? Whereas opposed to that precept, you absolutely did need light, which is why those women had to leave and go buy more oil. You remember or no?
Right.
This you don't need any light because this is not about light. Nor is the precept with the 10 virgins about actual light either. The 10 virgins is about being prepared to stay in the truth for the long haul, no matter how long it takes. This precept is simply commenting on how enlightened the kingdom of heaven will be, where there won't be ignorance. You have women that think that abortion is contraceptives, is a contraceptive measure. When women think that an abortion is birth control, that's ignorant. Abortion can't be birth control. God damn it. It's abortion. You can't just treat this like, well, we won't get on the pill. We won't use a condom. We won't use any of the other 25 methods of contraceptives that we can use. We'll just have an abortion and let someone go in our vagina and suck out the baby as if this is birth control. It's not. Abortion is not birth control. You think it is because your mother is ignorant and your family is ignorant and society is ignorant. It won't be like that in the kingdom of heaven. Everyone understands. Go ahead.
There's a sister with a question, I believe, if you would.
Sister, I'm ready. In the room.
Shalom, sir. Hello? Shalom. Okay.
Sis.
I just got a quick question.
The sisters they have for being so lovely. You see, they know how to dress. These sisters in the UPK, you sisters in the UPK are the best looking Israelite women on the planet, and give yourselves a hand. Them purple bitches can't stand a chance around you. You look better and you smell better than that.
I just had a
if you
quick
don't mind,
question.
Whenever you're ready, ask your question.
For sisters, I was wondering what would be the appropriate response. We were in Florida over the weekend. Like some Palestinians approached us about our
Is that right?
shield. Yeah. I was wondering for sisters, what would be the appropriate?
Well, what did they say to you?
Well, they start quoting stuff, you know, like
They start doing
said,
what?
They said a scripture, and it was saying something about this logo, but
Okay.
you know, so
I think I understand. Give her a hand. To what? Yeah, that's something that unfortunately you'll have to deal with at least until the election is over. This is what happens right now because of the war over there in Palestine. Right now in Palestine, the Palestinians kidnapped 100 or some odd Jewish people, right? They kidnapped them. After the kidnapping, then the Jewish people went and bombed and killed everything in Palestine, right? And so that, of course, made everyone around the world who loves the Palestinians, they're very angry at Jewish people because the Jewish people bombed Palestine after Palestine kidnapped Israeli citizens. So now, because they're so angry at Jewish people, if you wear a shield of David or if you have a shield of David on, they will assume that you support Jewish people. And if you support Jewish people, in their mind, you support the bombing and the killing of Palestinian children, which is not true. So this is what, if you're somewhere and you're wearing a shield of David, and wearing a shield of David has always been so dangerous, always, since we started. It's always a symbol that black people are never allowed to wear. Black people can represent anything. You can wear a cross, a ankh, a weed leaf. You can wear anything, right? You can wear a weed leaf and a cop sees you wearing a weed leaf. A cop will not say, hey, do you smoke weed? I see you wearing a weed leaf. But wearing a shield of David, I'm saying shield of David, the world calls it the Star of David. In reality, it is the shield of David, the Magun Dawadah, because it's his symbol, it's his name, written in a form that could be pressed into a wax to make a seal. You understand, right? So this is what you would do today. This is what I would recommend. Someone sees you, they see that shield of David, which is on the UPK's official trademark seal. They see it and they'll go, they want to confront you because they think you hate Palestinian babies. They think you want to bomb Palestinians. And what I would say to them is, you're wrong. The Jews are black. That's what I would say to them. Here you go, warrior. I would say the Jews are black. The white people over there in Palestine are not Jews. I'm wearing this because the Jews are black. Do you get my point? The white people in Palestine are not real Jews. I'm a Jew. And then, now once again, he's ignorant too. So hopefully he'll understand. If he doesn't understand, you call your brothers down there and we'll come down there and make a sad day on your job. This is around your job, someone that you know.
and it was just like a group.
Well, we can make it sad in Florida.
It was a group of Palestine.
We can make a terrible day everywhere.
I've been wearing it for a while, but I never
should
had
wear
got
it.
that kind
You
of
have a right to wear it.
response.
You can
I
wear
never
whatever the
got
hell
that
you
kind
wanna
of
wear.
response before. So.
But this should make, he thinks that you support the bombing of Palestine, and you do not. You don't support it at all, but you do support the fact that you are a Jew and the white people over there in the Middle East are not.
Correct. The
Everybody
water,
understands.
sir.
All right. Proximo.
Somebody in the comments mentioned the woman who ran into the school.
How did I forget about that? Give Captain Kapash a hand. Do you know about that, sister? Out there in Indianapolis, some lunatic Palestinian woman drove her car into our school in Indianapolis because, and it was heavy because before that, she set our trash can on fire, then threw red paint on the school, then came back at night and just drove her car through the wall of the school. The brothers came out there fully armed. You know, in the UPK, we believe in our right to bear arms. We believe in our right to carry a firearm when legal. And we were absolutely legal and came out there with firearms, subdued her for the police. When the police came, she said she had to do something because the babies are being killed. She, in her mind, we're killing the babies over here in Indianapolis. Why? She's ignorant. You understand? All right.
There was an update on that this week in the Indy Star, the main newspaper in Indianapolis, and a brother sent it to me because it was so crazy. They wrote the whole article to make it seem like we were the terrible hate group that basically got what we deserved, and she was just this innocent, confused little girl.
I knew they were. I knew they were. She ran her car through our school, but she was confused and hurt about the babies and the babies being killed in Palestine. She's just a sweet little confused little sweetie. And we're the big angry green Incredible Hulk niggers who are scary and terrible. And really, she had to drive her car into our building because we scared her so much. No problem. I understand. You see, we seek the Lord for our revenge. Right. We go to him. Give me this precept. Give me Romans. Give me when the Most High said, forgive them. Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. Then I got to get into my topic. The next thing is how to fix the Black and Hispanic family. Put my list. People harm us and do evil things to us. That happens. But we know how to get them back. We know just how to get revenge on people. And in the UPK, we believe in revenge. We believe in revenge. We believe in justice. The difference is we know how to actually get it done. And you don't know how to get revenge. You have what I'm looking for?
Come on, sir.
Go ahead.
Romans chapter 12 and verse 19. Dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves.
Read that again.
Dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves.
Those brothers, when they apprehended that Palestinian woman who drove her car into our school, they didn't punch her in the mouth and knock all her teeth out. They didn't smack her with the back of their hand and break her neck. They didn't shoot her. They didn't hit her with the butt of that AK-47. They didn't do any of that. They just held the woman for the police to come to take her to the institution where she belongs. Why? Because we do not avenge ourselves in the UPK. Right. Oh, here you go. We do not avenge ourselves in the UPK. We don't take revenge at our own hands, but not for the reason you think. Keep going.
But rather give place unto wrath.
You give place unto wrath, meaning you put your anger in its place. Now, don't let your anger grow out of control so that you do something that might stop your revenge. Put your anger in its place. Keep going.
For it is written, vengeance is mine.
What?
Vengeance is mine.
The Most High said, vengeance is mine. Keep going.
I will repay.
I will repay. The Most High God, vengeance belongs to him. He is going to repay. Think of every evil person that did something evil to you. People you should shoot in the head. People you should knock all their teeth out. But you don't do that. But you don't do it for the reason that you don't quite understand yet, but you will later. You forgive everybody. In the UPK, you're allowed to defend yourself in the middle of an attack. Meaning if someone is attacking you, the law of the land and the law of God allows you to take whatever measures are necessary to defend yourself or others. In the UPK, we believe in self-defense, but we do not believe in revenge because revenge is against God. So meaning if someone is attacking me, I can take his life in self-defense. But once he walks away, once he leaves, I can't go to his house and kill him. Because that's not self-defense, that's revenge. And the Lord said, vengeance is mine, I will repay. So you'll never do that. You'll never go and harm someone out of revenge. You'll never go and run a car into some mosque. You'll never go do that. You'll never try to repay the Palestinians for what they did to us or the Jewish people for what they did to us. We'll never do that for this reason. Go ahead. Keep going.
Saith the Lord.
Keep reading. Oh, it's more.
Verse 20. Therefore, if thine enemy hunger,
Therefore, if your enemy does what?
hunger,
If your enemy is hungry, go ahead.
feed him.
Feed him. We feed white people all the time. You know that at our food programs. We always feed white people. I'd rather feed white people because then I know they're poor and they're suffering. And I want to feed them. I want them. I wish I could give them health care. When it's up to us, we're going to give white people health care. Do you think we would deny white people health care the way they deny us health care? Never. We would make sure that every little white child goes to school with books and they can learn. And we would give every white child health care. We would do that. We would never treat white people the way they treated us. Why? Because we're better than them. Because we're a people of kindness and mercy. We're better than them. The Lord said, if thy enemy is hungry, you feed your enemy. Keep going.
If he thirst,
If your enemy is thirsty, go ahead.
give him drink.
You give him something to drink. If he's thirsty, go ahead.
For in so doing,
For what?
for in so doing,
For what?
for in
So
so
now
doing,
many of you might have heard this scripture. If your enemy is thirsty, give him something to drink. If he's hungry, feed him. For in so doing, by doing that, go ahead.
thou shalt heap coals of fire on his head.
When you feed your enemy and you give your enemy drink when he's thirsty, you're making sure God is going to hurt him. You're making sure. It's here in the New Testament. This is the New Testament. In doing so, you heap fiery coals on his head. Keep going.
Be not overcome of evil,
Don't be overcome with evil. Go ahead.
but overcome evil with good.
But you overcome evil with good. Love is going to conquer hate. Love, amor conquisto al odio. Amor conquisto al odio. Love is going to conquer hate. Love is going to conquer hate. So now, some white person or some Arab, they try to harm us. Of course, we'll defend ourselves in the moment. But afterwards, we'll feed you. We'll clothe you. Why? We'll give you drink when you're thirsty. Why? Sisters, raise your hand. Whoever has the answer, if you know it. If you don't, it's all right. Say again. That's halfway right. I'll take that halfway because that's true. Give her a hand. But what's the full answer, Ephraim? So that the Most High can punish them. Because the minute you take revenge in your hands, you forfeit God's vengeance. The minute you do it yourself, then God is not going to do it. But we want slavery for our oppressor. We don't want to just punch one in the face. We don't want to just, commit some act of terrorism the way the Arabs do. We want full-blown nationwide slavery for all white people. And to do that, you're going to have to be a better person. Everyone understands. All right. Próximo. Let's get into the topic now. Cap it up. Go ahead, warrior. Now, first I want to play you a few videos, right? Let's play first the Cam Newton video. Captain Gadalhar, he sent me this. He said this was an important video to go over. This is Cam Newton on his show with some sister who's, of course, an expert on marriage. All right.
I was going to say,
like
do you want to be here?
Is that every single woman with no children is a scholar on marital issues. All right, so we'll go ahead and play it.
How many?
8.
Oh, you need more time. If you need time, I'll go into another question. Any questions in the room?
I didn't do my research. I thought it was 4.
Okay. He needs a microphone.
She had an issue with her family, right? Simone Biles' family doesn't want a relationship with her, but only a relationship with her money and fame. This was a thing that was going on the past week on Instagram, where she just like he was talking about earlier, where we was born with this cup,
Right.
you know, born in a house that was
Right.
not the nicest house.
Right.
What will be the official UPK stance on Simone Biles complaining about her family not wanting a relationship with her, but only a relationship with her money and fame?
Okay, I would have to know more about it. I don't know anything about it to form an official opinion about it yet. All right, I'd have to first check and see how it would apply to what Commander General Yana teaches first. So I just don't. This is my first time hearing it. Go find out why is that. Why don't they want a relationship with her? Is that true, or is that just some reporter saying it? Is it her saying it? I don't know. Captain.
But 8, okay.
No, baby.
Simone Biles, her mother was a drug addict,
Oh,
and
okay.
the parents adopted Simone Biles as well as the other sister that she had, and so now she hasn't really communicated with her at all, and so the mom, although she has Simone's number, she wants Simone to reach out to her. She don't want to reach out to Simone. That's what she's saying, but that she also wants financial support from Simone, but she wants her to reach out to. The mother wants the daughter to reach out to her, not vice versa.
Okay, and
Cool.
It's
By how many women?
people on
3.
Instagram are picking a villain and a victim.
Yeah, they making the mother the villain, and Simone is innocent because they're saying she was a drug addict. She gave the baby up,
And this
they make it seem like she only want the attention because, of course, Simone is getting all the Olympics awards and fame and stuff like that.
How many?
What I would recommend with a thing like that is to not pick a victim or a villain when it comes to a Black and Hispanic family, because there is a real villain that will go unpunished. There is Brakathay Hawawaya was shot. You're gonna have so many families out that are destroyed. The children hate the parents. The parent hates the children. The parents are on drugs or were on drugs. Then the parents get clean, and they want to be treated like they've gotten clean. They want now to have a relationship with their daughter. But the daughter, of course, she went through terrible abuse because her parents were on drugs. But now, of course, the parents want forgiveness. But the child doesn't want to give them forgiveness because the child is damaged. What am I going to do? Hate the child for not wanting to forgive their parent, or hate the parent because they were caught up in the same drugs that millions of people were caught up under so Ronald Reagan could win a war? So Ronald Reagan could win a war. Simone Biles had to lose her parents. Don't ever make either one a villain. There's one villain that is the culprit to our calamity, and that is the so-called white man. He is the villain in all of your lives, in every story, at the end of every tragedy. He's the man behind the mask. Him. And so what you want to do is heal a family by making the white man the villain, because he's the actual villain, and he hates both of them. And I'll explain to you, and I'll break it down in 1 second. I'll prove it in 1 second. All right. Video, you got it.
So this was a 2.5 hour interview, but we have a few clips.
Of course.
8.
I didn't do my research. I thought it was 4, but 8. Okay.
No, baby.
Cool.
It's
By how
8.
many women?
3. And this is the kicker. I want more. Now,
By multiple women? What's the intent
I
of
just
this?
want
How
God
about
to
your
bring
wife?
him. I just want God to bring him.
Oh, okay. And you have, so you just
Because
bring him,
my
okay.
point is this. My desire to get married is lower than my fear of divorce. So, as you would say it, Dr. Brian, you said it, I didn't say it, I will agree. I'm just taking my time.
You're not taking your time.
I am, though.
You're being very action-based. You're not taking your time. You're being very action-based.
I'm taking my time.
You're being very action-based. You have 8 kids with 3 different women.
Yes.
You are creating, procreating, and multiplying. That is not taking your time. You're being very selectively active. Okay? So you're creating, in disclaimer, the kids are innocent, they are beautiful and amazing. Anything I say has nothing to do with them babies, because I can't wait to be a mom, and I love the kids, period. But you are proactively choosing where you want to be active at and where you want to take your time. You want to take your time in having a wife because of your own fears. But you will, and I say this with all respect and love, what I'm about to say next, okay, Cam? But you will selfishly create broken families even if you're in their life and you're a proactive father, and I believe you're an amazing daddy. I can only imagine with just your presence and knowing you thus far. But these families are still broken. Every child cannot have Papa in the house with them. So some child, if not all will end up with some kind of deficit without daddy being there. Now, you chose to do that. I'm not saying you sat there and woke up one morning and said, I want to be selfish today, so I'm going to go make a baby. Not saying that at all. But those are selfish acts at the expense of your fear. So at what point do you feel the fear, do it anyways? And yeah, that is a low functioning behavior. To say that I am going to create these homes. Let me go better. I'm going to build these houses and put kids and these beautiful women and kids in them, but I ain't going to create a home in them. I'm going to wait till I dissipate my fear to find a wife where I'm still going to be fearful with, because there's no such thing as not having some type of nerve or some type of feeling behind marrying somebody who you're spending your life with. And then I'm going to build a home with her while all these other beautiful babies have houses. That's completely unfair and it's selfish.
Just to
All right, I think that's enough. If you didn't see the whole thing, she goes on later to say she doesn't have any children, and of course doesn't have a man. All right, and she's of course, Cam Newton believes that he can have more children, but he doesn't want to get married according to paperwork. He doesn't want to have a marriage license with a woman because he's afraid that the marriage will end. Okay, that's one. Let me just tell you that entire thing is ridiculous and stupid. And women, please stop listening to women like this. Women who look at motherhood and being a wife like it's an academic study, because they don't have any experience at all in being a wife or a mother at all. So they study motherhood. They study being a wife because they don't have a man. They study it and they research it. And they, of course, will attempt to tell you how you should have a man when you have one and she does not. You have children and she does not. For you brothers that battle people on the street, you need to go into her and realize that her entire argument is validating herself. When she says she doesn't have children, does that mean she never had sex? When she says she doesn't have children, does that mean she never had any abortions? No. See, she'll act like she's better than you because you got a baby's daddy when she's had 5 abortions. But she's better than you because she would never have these broken homes. She just goes out and has sex randomly and has had 5 abortions and has had so many abortions that at 42, she can't even have kids at all anyway. But she'll look at you like, she's better than you because she doesn't have any baby daddies. She just has less morals than you. You didn't want to keep having abortions, so you had the children. She, because she's so smart and so intelligent, she decided to just keep having abortion after abortion so she can sit on Cam Newton's show and act like she's better than a woman who has a baby's daddy. She's not. Everyone understands. Cam Newton is also stupid because if you're afraid of divorce, but not afraid of having a baby with the woman, having a baby is the one that's going to put you in jail, not a divorce. A divorce is nothing, and you can get a prenuptial agreement and pay her nothing in most states. There is no prenuptial agreement for child support. That doesn't exist. Do you understand me? You can marry 10 women, and before the marriage, have them sign a paper so that they cannot receive alimony. That's valid in mostly every state in America. There is no agreement about child support that a judge will consider valid, meaning she could sign a paper saying, I will never put you on child support. Have it verified and notarized. A judge will look at it and throw that nonsense away and put you on child support. You have to be afraid to have a baby with a woman. That's the thing that should scare you. A marriage license is nothing. Let me give you the history of marriage licenses. They didn't exist until the end of the Civil War. Did Thomas Jefferson have a marriage license? Did Benjamin Franklin, did the founding fathers have marriage licenses? No, because it's a right to be married. There was no reason to get a license for something that you have the right to do. But at the end of the Civil War, when this new group of people had all these rights. It was these people that got freed. Now they have rights. White people wanted to make sure that you could not marry a white woman. And they invented the marriage license to make sure that black people could not marry white women. Before that, there was no marriage license until after the Civil War. Can you Google this? You can. You can just look up what I'm saying to you. There was no need for something. Black people used to get married by jumping over a goddamn broom. You understand me? They jumped over a broom, they were married. Jewish people, the white man that calls himself a Jew would step on a wine glass. You were married. It wasn't until black people were free and were now considered citizens that they said, well, we can't just let everybody marry everybody. Now we need to have a license verified by a judge. And that's where marriage licenses come from. Otherwise, there weren't any. So now you think that that's something, it's nothing, a marriage license, because there's a divorce decree that you can sign the next day. And every state in the union is a no contest divorce, meaning you don't need a reason. A woman doesn't need to go, he cheated on me, that's why I'm leaving you. A woman can leave because of irreconcilable differences, which is what? Nothing. You don't need a reason for a divorce. A marriage license is nothing at all, especially if you'll get a prenuptial agreement if you believe one of you has a lot of money that the other might take. But a baby, woo, that thing is putting you in jail. Do you understand me? That thing is why you're going to jail. So if Cam Newton thinks he'll have a baby but not get a marriage license, he is stupid and ignorant. He should not do that. You should not go get women pregnant because if you're not careful, you'll get an immoral woman pregnant who's going to put you in jail forever, even though you can't earn money in jail to pay for the child. So he's ignorant, she's ignorant, done. Give me Saucy Santana.
Like going through this chapter, my heart was touched and I got kind of emotional while even reading it. And before I kind of shared it like big, I wanted to share it with you first. This chapter is entitled Innocence Stolen. Why didn't I protect my baby? I'm his mother. Every house my son was allowed to visit was supposed to be a safe place, but my son was passed around to be used and abused by different family members. It felt like someone in my family had died when I found out what the predator had did to my son, but no one wanted to talk about it. If more people talked about abuse, it could be helped, even when predators are your family members. It took courage for my child to share his truth, but he was only labeled a liar. Some of the abusers admitted their part in the entire ordeal, but the one predator blamed my son. Like a 9-year-old would want to be violated by an older cousin in that kind of way. I truly believe this situation opened the door to change my son's sexuality.
You hear that? This is the mother knowing something that Commanding General Yohana has been teaching since 1969. I don't care. I don't even get involved in the debate about are gay people born gay? Why? I don't even get involved in that. You know why? This is what I want to do. I want to eradicate all child molestation. Then we'll see how many gay people we have. Let's see first, right? Let's first, 1 second, warrior. Let's see how many gay people we have when there's no cousins and uncles molesting children. Let me look at the numbers then. Let me look at the numbers after we eradicate child molestation, eradicate child abuse. Then let's see how many gay people we have. Until then, we're getting off the topic. What do you want to say, young warrior? Microphone.
Hello? All right. XY chromosome is what a man have, right?
That's right.
The female have Y chromosomes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the X. Mm-hmm. So that extra part is a female. So we normally have female tendencies already in us. So what the extra part with identifies us from a male and a female, this is where estrogen coming at. So the more estrogen you take, the more you turn into a female. So let's just say you were doing prison time. So mostly they feed you all that soybean. Soybean has estrogen in it.
Right.
So that should turn you into, kills your hormones, kills everything basically that a man has.
So everybody in prison is gay?
No. What I'm trying to say is this, is that the XY chromosome, you already have a female trait in you already.
Right.
So I don't know what everybody here believe in, but if Adam came from Eve, allegedly, right?
Allegedly.
The red.
Allegedly.
Right. So that means that he was made from a woman. So that means that we all have that. Men have that in us.
Every one of us could be gay.
Right, because you
don't want that. That ain't what you're saying.
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is this. The X chromosome is what?
The X, meaning men have XY, women have XX, so meaning the man decides the sex of the baby.
Right, XY, look, XY. Wow. We're mixing it all the way. X is a female. So we already have that in it. It's just one piece is missing.
So
if you look at it, what I'm saying is this though. Sum it all up. Is that we already have that nature in us already.
The nature of what?
Of, how can I say? I don't want to just say the wrong thing. We all got the chromosome. We got the chromosomes.
We all got female tendencies.
No.
Okay.
It's XY chromosomes, and we just got one piece. So basically, we share the same chromosome. It's just that we just got an extra piece to it. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
If you look at the map, if you look at an XY chromosome, there's one piece is missing.
Right.
It's one leg. That's it.
So
that
meaning
means that you have it. It's just that one piece that identifies as a male and female.
I totally get you. So because of that, what?
Because of that, I'm assuming, because I'm not perfect, I'm not a scientist.
Neither am I.
But what I'm saying is this. I feel that during my experience through life, that people, men who get upset, angry, or all those type of things that's not manly, over things that's not manly, have them have all the way the female joint.
I got you.
You understand what I'm saying? It's hard to explain because my mind's a little bit different. So
you're doing an excellent. You're doing an excellent job at explaining. Give him a hand. I totally understand. I think. Give the mic. You take the mic. I think. After Water for answering the question, I think I understand. I'm sorry. I think I understand. No, I absolutely understand. I might be able to even help you with it. This might even soothe your soul to understand the whole thing. Okay, the whole XY chromosome just means this. There was a time when, through ignorance, people thought that women decided the sex of the baby. There was a man named King Henry VIII who divorced all of his wives whenever he would have a girl, because he believed that the woman is the one that chose the sex. So whenever he had a girl child, he divorced Anne Boleyn. He divorced what's the last? Catherine of Aragon. What's the last one? There's the last one I forget. He would divorce him, right? Because he thought, in his ignorance, that the woman decided the sex, until through years after words of science, they realized that the man is the one that determines the sex. So if you're having daughters, it's because of your genes. It's not because of your woman's, because a man has the capability of making both girls and boys. A woman can only be a girl, but a man can make a girl and a man can make a boy. However, that does not mean that the father in any way has any feminine tendencies at all. A man is born to be a man. The Bible says this. The Bible says this. When a woman prays or prophesies, she ought to cover her head. For a woman is the image and the glory of the man. Right? Because a man made her. That's another myth in the Black and Hispanic community, that we were made by women. We were all made by men. Right. All of us. Women did not make you. Men made you. If I plant an apple seed in the ground, that's an apple seed that comes from a apple. Right. The dirt didn't make me. The soil didn't make me. The soil nourished me. The soil fed my seed. My seed comes from the Father that made me. Men make babies, not women. Women do not make babies. Women carry babies. Men make babies. When a woman is having her monthly, when she's ovulating, the seed does what? Falls. When a man puts sperm into a woman, the seed swims. Why? Because that seed is alive. It is swimming upstream into her. It's alive. It's swimming. The seed of a woman, the ovary is not alive. It drops because of gravity. A man made you. A man made every last one of us. A man made the women. A man made the men. A man made all of us. Women are the soil that carry the seed and nourish the seed. They're absolutely essential to life, but life starts in a man. Everyone understands. The Lord said this. The Lord said a woman ought to cover her head because she is the image and the glory of a man. But a man ought never, never to cover his head, for he is the image and glory of God. A man ought to never humble himself. Commanding General Yohana doesn't teach that. We don't teach our men to be humble and to cover their head with yarmulkes and scarves, like, you know, and put all over our head and Yeshua, Yeshimam, Yeshamam. We're supposed to be strong and solid, warrior. You correct. The warriors, he got to raise his hand, but he's right. We ought to be strong. Don't ever think that you don't have a woman's side. None. And your wife doesn't have a man's side. None. We don't have a woman's side. She doesn't have a man's side. We're the opposite sex, young man. Just like we're supposed to be. That's like God made us. You understand? I get your point, and I understand. The brothers that you got, some brothers that go to prison out and so they become punks in prison. It has more to do with their home before prison than what they're eating in prison. Those brothers that go to jail and become punks out, you should see how they were when they were children. You should see that they've been molested since they were 9 years old, and now they end up in prison, just like Saucy Santana. You're thinking that prison turned them gay. Prison doesn't turn anyone gay. You know what turns you gay? Your cousin when you were 9 years old. That's what turns you gay. And now you end up doing crime and you're in jail. And people think prison made you gay. Well, another brother, he goes to prison, he's going to cut every child molester in prison. Why? Because he knows how damaging it is. Prison does not hold your point, warrior. Prison does not make you gay. Food does not make you gay. Abuse makes you gay. That's what Saucy Santana, the mom, is saying right here. Child abuse. Child abuse sexualizes you in a way that you don't decide and that God doesn't decide. Can I give you the proof? Women. What happens when a woman is molested? She becomes promiscuous. She becomes a stripper. She becomes a prostitute. These prostitutes that you love, that you go to the strip club and see, that you give your money to, you would never have a whore without child molestation. Never. You love whores, don't you? You love women that you on Instagram? Well, if you love Instagram whores, you gotta love child molestation, because you can't have Instagram whores without molesting little girls. That's where they come from. Abuse is what causes these things, not chromosomes. Abuse, which is what we're going into now. Give me the list. We have a list here, the warrior, Ashar Ya'ala. We made a list of the top enemies to families, the top reasons that Black and Hispanic families are broken. Do you have that, warrior? Put the list up there and we'll go through each one. Here's the first one, oppression. If you want to know what is the enemy, what is the cause, what is the enemy to good families, kind families, healthy families, the number one evil is oppression. There was a good family right here at Central Park. It was called Seneca Village. It was an excellent place. My God. The place that you imagine, when I think of Seneca Village in my research, that sounds like heaven to me. Just like Black Wall Street in Oklahoma. It sounds like heaven. You know, Black airports, Black doctors, Black schools, Black physicians and industry, thriving economies. It was called Seneca Village. But then later on, politicians wanted the land. and they took the land from those black people after countless harassments of racial injustice and racial violence. And they harassed them and harassed them. Then later on, the city takes Seneca Village and they form a place called Central Park. And that is what Central Park is today. All of Central Park at one time was Seneca Village on the west side. It was Seneca Village. They named it Seneca Village after Seneca, I believe, the Younger. Seneca the Younger was a Roman philosopher in Rome who spoke against slavery. He wasn't against slavery in the sense that the institution was evil, but he believes that slaves had rights and they had dignities and they had to be treated with respect. And so historians say that they named Seneca Village after Seneca the Younger in Rome. And they went and made a thriving family, a thriving neighborhood, until oppression from the so-called white man came and dispersed them and destroyed them. Now the family is scattered, broken, and they have no money. They have no more businesses. They have no more doctors and physicians and factories and people that sell horses and take care of horses and people that make carriages and people that make dresses and people that make suits. They are destroyed because of oppression. Oppression is the reason that families are broken up. Oppression happening out in Los Angeles. The same oppression happened in Los Angeles, in Texas. The same oppression happens everywhere. Right now, you could have free health care if white people believe that black people wouldn't get it. That's why you don't have free health care. Why do you think the housing prices are so high? Why do you think that the rent is so high in New York? Why do you think there's a housing crisis? Because renters, landlords like Donald Trump, who was a famous slumlord in Brooklyn and in Queens, wants to make sure that black people cannot rent those homes, that Puerto Ricans cannot rent those homes. Why? Because white people don't want you to rent to Puerto Ricans. The white people that live there are like, I don't want Puerto Ricans living in my neighborhood. Look up something called replacement theory. It's the theory that white people have that they think that every white person is going to be replaced by Hispanics. And because of that, there's a crisis at the border. We have to stop these Hispanics from coming over here. The rent is high to make sure you can't live there. That's why the rent is high. The rent could be cheap. If white people knew and could be assured that only white people would move into that building, the rent would be nice and cheap. But they have to find a way to make sure that blacks and Hispanics can't move in. Money is to make sure that you don't ever move in. They make it too high. And that's why rent is high. You're oppressed, and that oppression causes number two. What's number two?
Number two is poverty.
Damn it. Number two is what?
Poverty.
Number two is what?
Poverty.
Poverty. Poverty is what breaks up a home. You're poor. Being so poor and you're suffering and your lights are being turned off every week and you huddle around a kerosene heater for heat. You don't have any food. You don't have any shoes. Your mother sends you down to the welfare office to fake like you're deaf. Who went through that? No one went through that up here? Oh, y'all live good. Your mom send you down there and say, listen, tell them you don't understand anything. Tell them you can't hear and you can't see. And take this cane in there. And take this German Shepherd dog and act like you're blind. The mother sends you into the welfare office, like, so you can get money. Why? Is it because your mom is evil? Your mom is not evil. Your mom is poor. She's poor. So she has the children fake ailments. Who went through it? Raise your hand. Break it down to Zaya. Oh. Tyrese the singer. Man, everybody knows about that. You got to walk in there and be like, I'm retarded. Who are you? Who am I? I don't know. Give my mother some money. General Cabal. Here we go. And that, of course, you need the drugs. And now your mother is poor. Everyone's poor. Your father is poor. He's poor. You're hating him because he didn't buy you a Christmas gift. Your father didn't want to come home because he knew he didn't have money. So he stays away. He doesn't come around because he's embarrassed to come around. He knows what your mother is going to say, what your grandmother is going to say to him. So he stays away. because he doesn't have any money, and he knows that what? A real man provides for his family, doesn't he, right? So then what's your father then? If a real man provides for his family, he used to live in Seneca Village until they kicked him out. He had a job in Seneca Village. He had a job there. He made this suit, so he worked for the carriage company. After they kicked him out of Seneca Village, now white people don't even want him to move in next door. So if a real man provides for his family, then what is your father then? Your father is not a real man. He stopped coming around. Do you understand? That breaks up homes. Poverty. Next.
Next up is abortion.
Abortion. Because you're poor, your father has no job, there's a simple fix that's been around since what, the 1800s? Right? I mean, how long did they have solutions for pregnancy? Back in the 1800s, some old witch doctor give you something to drink or do something to you to end your pregnancy. It's very old. Abortion is old, very old. Probably old as Rome. They could give you something to kill your baby. They would give it to prostitutes and whores or to rich women who wanted to never have a baby because they had sex with a slave. That's how old abortion is. Now, because you're poor, because you've been run out of Seneca Village, now the solution is abortion. It seems like a quick fix, doesn't it? It seems like, it's a contraceptive measure. It seems like just birth control. You have abortion. Here's what they don't tell you. When a woman has an abortion, she feels like she murdered her child. It aches her inside. Sometimes they'll show her the baby, they'll suck the baby out and she'll see it. Sometimes they'll drill a hole in the baby's head and she'll know. And remember, she felt it kicking in her. And then the baby is gone and she'll have the same emotional stress that a woman who had a miscarriage goes through. The same thing. A woman has a miscarriage, she goes through that emotional chemical pain. Well, a woman that has an abortion goes through that pain. What's the reason? 85% of abortions are Black and Hispanic women. That's a number you can Google. Why do they have abortions? I wish it was because they was legal. They was having them before it was legal. They was having them in the 1800s. Why? What's the number one reason? Officer. Give him a hand. Poverty. You're having an abortion for the reasons your mother told you had to. You ain't got nothing. You live with me. That nigga ain't gonna do nothing for you. You can't have a baby. Can you afford a baby? You got nothing. The woman hears that and it makes total logical sense that she should have an abortion, which is why abortion is so evil. Abortion is evil because for this one reason. They call it the choice to have an abortion. A woman should have the freedom of choice. You've heard that term before, sisters, right? Freedom of choice. The problem with abortion is when you're poor, you don't have a choice. You have to have an abortion. There is no choice. How do I have a choice to have a child? I don't have a choice. I can't afford this baby. Me and the baby's father don't get along. We don't talk, and he works nowhere. My mother's telling me she's not going to help me. The problem with abortion is that there is no choice for poor people. There's no choice. You have to have one. Officer in the back.
There you go. I was friends with a sister, and not in the school, of course. She was, outside the school, and she had so many abortions that the doctor told her she couldn't have no more.
You know how common that is? That's many of you are only born because the doctor said she couldn't have any more. That's why you're here. What do you want to say, young warrior? Mm-hmm. It's all right. Go ahead.
I love your point of view. I just want to say this from my point of view.
Mm-hmm.
I think that because I'm really open-minded to a lot of things. I'm very open-minded to everything you say, right? Mm-hmm. So during my experience through life, right, I try to focus on the essence, the beginning.
I understand.
Not the end, the middle, the
I
essence.
understand.
So I feel like this. I have all boys, 6 boys,
Most
right?
High in
No
Christ.
women, no
Good job.
no females.
I understand.
Inshallah, I pray that because the way how the world is right now, I don't
Yeah.
think I'll be out here free.
I hear that.
But moving forward, I think that we teach let me keep on the eye. I think if I ever have a daughter, I would teach her the right from wrong, what she look for in a man, the responsibilities and dignities, and have self-respect, so she won't have to make those same mistakes or having a baby or sex or like that and getting pregnant, because it starts with home. It starts with the parents first. Even if she have one single parent, the morals and everything you teach your child, they're gonna grow up. Whatever you do is what your child is gonna see. You the first teachers, and then they go to school. That's the second teacher.
Let me cut you off, Warrior. What you're saying is true, but I'm tight with my time. So but give him a hand. Because what he's saying is true. Which once again, which is why it's important. When you go to try to raise a child correctly and to give the child morals, what I'm trying to teach you is what enemies are you going to have to fight to get that child to be moral? Oppression. Your child is going to grow up in a place where they're being oppressed because they're Black and Hispanic, where someone is actively forcing them to not prosper, to not be able to make the money that they should make. Then your child is poor. And now your child has influences to try to end their poverty that will cause them to go deeper into poverty. Then guess what else your child has? Cousins. Your child has cousins. Your child has uncles. Your child has football coaches. Your child has choir directors. Your child has church members. These people are going to molest your child. So as you're trying to teach your child and raise your child right, you better identify the enemies that cause broken families, because these enemies must be dealt with for you to have a good family. What's number 3? Child molestation. Child molestation. When children are abused, now any good thing that you've been trying to instill in them is perverted. It's perverted now because they've been sexualized in a way that is unnatural. You know what Saucy Santana has? What you never knew he had. Saucy Santana has a maker. That's what he has. Someone made Saucy Santana. We went over this earlier with vampire mythology. Right. Vampire mythology has someone that, you're an average everyday person, and some monster bites you. And now you become a monster. They call that your maker in vampire mythology. Saucy Santana knows who his maker is. They're talking about it in the video. His mom knows his maker. You brothers and sisters that have been molested, know this. You're not gay because you were born that way. You're not gay because of some choice you made. You're gay because your maker decided you were going to be gay. He chose that for you. He did it. And the only way to defeat it is to defeat him, is to defeat your maker. You wanted to say something? Microphone? Come on. Please.
Just in regards to advice or counsel,
please.
What do you do to avoid that? If you're a single parent, what do you do to avoid that, especially if they have to go to their mother's house or whatever?
Let me give you the short answer. The short answer is you got to be aware of what any parent or cousin that gives you an uneasy feeling of danger. Then don't let them go over there. That's it. If you trust your intuition. So you go over to the cousin and you look at that cousin. I remember when Captain Ariel was a little baby. I'm out looking for daycare centers for Captain Ariel. And I went to 10 of them. I walked into one and some man was there who had Patti LaBelle's hairstyle. Now, who knows what I'm talking about? I'm talking Patti LaBelle from 1998. The thing was like this shit here. The thing was like, I walked in there. I said, nope, and walked right out. Now here I am in my 50s. I went to school 3 weeks ago. for one of my kids in the program, in a little kid program, daycare center. I walked him in there, and I already told the woman I don't want any men watching my child. I walk in there, some man with a pink shirt came in and said, "I'll be looking after your son today." I said, "Never mind." And I'm out. That happened 3 weeks ago. Okay. Right the hell while you're shot. Now, you're going to need to do that. At the same time, you're going to need to do something that is irreplaceable in life. You're going to need to teach your son and your daughter to be strong and to fight when someone tries to violate them. Right. They got to go to war, Rob. Your child has to go to war. Your daughter has to have manly courage. Right. That's in the Bible. Precept. That woman who died and her 7 sons were killed. She said the Most High God gave, even though she was a woman, the Lord gave her manly courage. That's not Susanna. That's a sister in the Apocrypha, in the Maccabees. Meaning you're a woman, but when some man tries to touch you, you better step up and fight. You better scream, yell, run, tell. Repeat it to your children. Scream, yell, run, tell. Sister, say it. Scream. Again. Do that to your children. Teach them that. Scream, yell, run, tell. That's it. They're not going to hide it. They're not going to keep it quiet. They're not going to make sure that no one outside the house knows our business in the house. Any man that says that to you is setting you up to molest your child. Well, we keep business in this house, in people in that. No. In this house, we keep the business everywhere. Everybody's going to know. What happens in here, you don't see this man here. We're not hiding anything. We don't hide business. Anything we say, we do it for the public. Well, if there's something happening in that home, some woman getting beat because her husband is an alcoholic, some child being abused at night, tell everyone. And let every man that you know, you tell everything. You tell everybody everything. So if you're going to molest somebody in here, it's going to be on the internet. It's going to be at the police station. It's going to be everywhere. Commanding General Yohana will know about it if it happens, because this house doesn't keep secrets. That's what you'll need to teach your daughter about. You understand? If you don't mind, please.
Count out of one kind. 2 Maccabees chapter 7 and verse 21. Yea, she exhorted every one of them in her own language, filled with courageous spirits, and stirring up her womanish thoughts with a manly stomach.
That's what she said. She stirred up her womanish thoughts with a manly stomach. A woman will need that to preserve your honor, because because you have cousins and uncles and football coaches. And a woman, you're just a born, everyone that sees you wants you. Everyone. With a man, some of you are going to be the same way. And you're going to have to fight. You're going to have to not be all timid and shy and scared, and you don't want to cause waves. You don't want to make a big deal. You're going to have to stab him or bite his nose off. You're going to have to go to him, and he goes and you bite off his nose. Bite off your father's nose. Bite off your stepfather's nose. Bite off your cousin's nose, so that he'll have to explain where his nose is. Right. And everyone will know, because he doesn't have a nose anymore. Or else you're going to be in a broken family, because when that maker makes you, it started with Saucy Santana when he was 9 years old. Now he became Saucy Santana. And let me give you the other thing that's terrible. When you get older, people are going to be entertained by your pain. They're going to love that you're a stripper. They're going to love that you walk down the street naked. They're going to say you're a slut and you're empowered. They're going to say that you're an independent woman because you walk around in booty shorts and a bra. Once you get older, no one will even see the signs of trauma, because they'll be so entertained by you. Saucy Santana, the worst thing about him is that he's entertaining to people. And once you become entertaining, no one cares about how you got like that. Once you become a stripper, no one cares about how you became a stripper. They're entertained by you. They like it. So you better stop it early. Hold your point. You better stop it early. You better bite off his nose or claw out his eyes. You have to do it, or else you're going to create a broken family. Keep going.
She said unto them, I cannot tell how you came into my womb.
That's enough. I think they get
Count,
that.
count.
That's her talking to her children. It's an amazing thing that I don't even read because it makes me cry. But it's an absolutely outstanding story that all of you should read. Keep going.
Salaki, so there was a comment. The only reason I'm even mentioning this is because the timing was so odd. Some white man chose the middle of what you were just saying to comment, why are you guys spreading hate? And it's such BS.
Once again, I'm not surprised by that. I know that they hate us because they hated Christ before us. I know why. They don't hate us because of actions. They hate us because they want this society to continue. White man, listen carefully because I'm gonna give you something to hate in a second. I'm gonna give you something that for you to run and tell everybody about in 1 minute when I give you the solution to broken families. Keep going for the last one.
There's two more. The next one is
Two more.
crime.
Crime. Here we go. What's another thing that makes broken families? Crime. Why? What? Drug dealing, stealing, lying, credit card scams. Why do you do these things? Because you've been kicked out of Seneca Village because of oppression. Now you're poor and you've been molested. Now it's time to be a bank robber, a drug dealer, a thief, a liar, a credit card scammer. Now crime becomes something that you are so susceptible to because your maker made you like that. If you don't mind, the Water Warrior. He made you to become a criminal. Now you go to prison. Now you're in jail. Crime. If you want to have good families, you have to fight crime. Crime is destroying Black and Hispanic families. Drug dealing, all kinds of crime. All kinds of Black people think that, crime is where you should live. You should always live in the world of crime. You're doing insurance fraud. You're sending your kids into the damn welfare office acting like they're retarded to do insurance fraud, to do school fraud. These things seem good to you because you're so poor, because you're being oppressed, and because you've been molested. Crime is destroying Black families. Keep going. What's the last one? Is it the last one? Here, let him taste this one. Let him taste this one. There's another thing that is destroying the Black and Hispanic household. It's creating broken homes. Monogamy. Monogamy is destroying us and always has been. Monogamy. What do I mean when I say monogamy? Your father is with your mother. Your father goes out and has sex with another woman. Your mother leaves your father. Why? Because he cheated on me. Who does she bring in the house next after your father's gone? Sisters? Sisters? Who comes in? Your mother left your father because he had another woman. He cheated on her. Your mother has a new man. The new man, sister? The new man is a child molester. Now here goes the circle. The new man. Your mother left a good man because he was not monogamous. The new man is monogamous. He just likes children on the side. But he only has one wife. Coach Sandusky, what was he, y'all? I saw his ring. What was Coach Sandusky? Monogamous. Coach Sandusky had a wedding ring every day of football practice. Coach Sandusky had one wife. He just would molest every white boy that was under 200 pounds in the football program. Every last one. I saw on the news, he molested some little white boy in the showers that I went by every day. I was Black, so I never went in no showers. But white people would go in them showers. The Black kids, we'd be like, I ain't going no fucking shower. Just white people in there. We would not have that. But those little white kids, they went in them showers. I turned the news on, Coach Sandusky molesting kids in those showers in our locker room. Coach Sandusky had a wedding ring on he wore every day. He believed in one wife. Didn't stop him from molesting kids. Your mother left a man who was your daddy because he had another wife. And she brought a child molester into your home. Now you're that same father. You're that same father. You go out now and you have another woman. But then you fall in love with a different woman. This woman is not leaving you. She loves you. She loves you and you have children with her. But then you met this new girl at work. And the new girl said what to you? The only way I'll be with you is what? Is if you leave your wife. And because your father is monogamous, he leaves your mother. That's why so many of you that claim to have bad fathers, he was a good father to a different house. He went over to your daddy who you think ain't shit was throwing that football with some other kids, frisbee, barbecues. You're going to see it when he's dead. When he's dead, you'll be like, who are these kids that come out the woodwork that he raised? He didn't raise me. You know why your daddy didn't raise you? He was a monogamous, your daddy. Your daddy could only raise one family. Monogamy destroys the household. A father needs to be every woman he has sex with. He is married to each and every one of them. Every child he has with them, he has to be with those children. And don't tell me like that dumb bitch said to Cam Newton that if you have more than one woman, you can't see the child all day. If you got a job, you can't see the child. What the hell are you talking about? You think Cam Newton can see his children? He playing football all damn year. Cam Newton ain't, if your father, you want this father with money, right? Women think they can just have everything because of TV. If you want a father with money, then you're never going to see your father. And that's what comes with money. Work comes with money. So Cam Newton is not seeing any children because he's playing football, making stupid podcasts with funny hats. Come on.
So like I said, it's funny because throughout that whole 2.5 hour interview, she kept making references to high value men specifically for their money. Like,
of course, she wants a man with millions of dollars, but he can't go to work. He got to stay home all damn day and be with the kids. She's an idiot, and she had so many abortions that now all she can do is critique other women in their marriages. This is what I'm telling you. Monogamy is destroying us. Stop being monogamous. If a man goes out and has another woman, do not leave him. Brothers, don't leave your woman simply because you've fallen in love with some other woman. Do not do that. You stay with every woman you have sex with. You stay with them. You raise the children with every woman you have sex with. Now, with that said, now I'm going to give you the solution to broken families. I need one precept if you don't mind. I think Matthew, hold on, I don't want to tell it to you out loud because I want you to go here. Where am I with time? God damn, do I got to end the class now? Hold up, I know it's in Matthew.
and while you're looking that up, a quick shout out to Cookout Weekend here in Harlem.
Give him a hand.
Over and good. Tomorrow, we're going to be in Times Square. Commanding General Yohana will be speaking on the solution to gun violence. And Sunday, right here in Marcus Garvey Park, the annual ISUPK East Coast Cookout.
That's right. Give him a hand. Last precept, give me Matthew 12:46. Here's the solution to broken Black and Hispanic families. Make sure the white man online is listening carefully because you're going to hate this. Here is the solution to Black and Hispanic families, and it comes out of the words of Jesus Christ himself. Jesus Christ is a Black man from the tribe of Judah. All right? Go ahead and read.
Matthew chapter 12 and verse 46. While he yet talked to the people.
This is the day when Jesus Christ was out talking to the people, teaching the people. We're going to go out and teach the people, I think, tomorrow, correct?
Go
ahead. Where are we going? Times Square, New York. It's like that idiot Mav Hoffa. That idiot Mav Hoffa said he was not, he liked the Israelite movement, but not those crazy ones on Times Square. You saw that, Warrior? Not those crazy ones at Times Square. He said that to Vlad, a devil. And Vlad TV just laughed and laughed. Laughed and know that Mav Hoffa, he's a good one. He's not one of the bad ones like us. He's one of the good Israelites. The UPK, we're the bad Israelites, y'all. We're the ones everybody hates. We're the ones that everyone avoids. We're your baby. We're the Israelite group your baby's mama hates. Well, Jesus Christ was out teaching one day, and this happened. Go ahead.
Behold, his mother and his brethren stood without.
Jesus Christ, his mother and his brother. Jesus Christ had brother. His brother's name was James. His mother's name was Mary. You've heard of her. The Catholic Church made her a god, right? The mother god Mary. Well, Jesus Christ, his mother and his brother were standing outside of his speaking. Keep going.
Desiring to speak with him.
They wanted to talk to Jesus Christ. Go ahead.
Then one said unto him, Behold, thy mother and thy brethren stand without.
One of the brothers guarding said, Behold, look, your mother and your brother are standing outside. Go ahead.
Desiring to speak with thee.
They want to talk to you, Christ. Go ahead.
But he answered and said unto him.
But he did what?
He answered.
When this man said his mother and his brother were outside trying to talk to him, he answered them and said
unto him that told him, Who is my mother?
He answered him and said, Who is my mother? Keep reading.
And who are my brethren?
And who are my brethren? Go ahead.
And he stretched forth his hand.
Then he stretched forth his hand. Keep going.
Towards his disciples.
Towards who?
His disciples.
Towards who?
His disciples.
Towards his disciples. Go ahead.
And said, Behold, my mother and my brethren.
Look, my mother and my brothers. Keep going.
For whosoever shall do the will of my Father which is in heaven, the same is my brother and sister and mother.
Whoever does the will of my Father which is in heaven, the same is my mother, the same as my brothers. You know what the solution to broken families is? Destroy them and start new ones. That's what you have to do. Destroy them. Forget them. You come from a house full of child molesters. Get a new family. You come from a house full of criminals and drug dealers and drug addicts and people who love white gods rather than loving their own children. Start a new family.
Right.
Get rid of it. You want to fix some broken family, start a new one. That's what you do. You start over. You start over. You don't sit there. Now you'll sit across the Christmas table with your child molester, which is what all of you are doing, trying to fix the family. Let me tell you something. You know that child, when there's a molested child in the house, the child tells someone, and the parent never wants to tell the police. Raise your hand if you don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, no one raised their hand. The parent never Saucy Santana said this, that people didn't want to believe him. People didn't want to do anything about it. Why is it that when you are molested and you tell someone, the family will want you to keep it secret? If whoever can answer this question for me, I will be highly impressed. First of all, everyone online and everyone in here knows that if you go and say, my uncle, my cousin, my stepfather, my father's molesting me, someone will say, don't tell anybody. Keep that quiet. Keep your mouth shut about that. All I want to know is, do you know why they're doing that? This question is difficult, young brothers and sisters. The truth of it, you're not going to want to face. Why do they want to hide it? Please. Slow down. Answer.
It's because they want to keep that a secret.
Why?
Because of maybe embarrassment.
Next. No, it's not embarrassment. Brother right here. No, the brother behind you. Go ahead.
So like I said, because they want to maintain the reputation of the family and shame.
Wrong. It's so simple. Right here, California. Give it to him.
Is because they were molesting people too?
All of you are right, but no. Many times they're not a molester, but they want to make sure you don't ever tell the police. You don't ever tell a school teacher. They want you just to take it. They'll deal with it in the family. It's for one basic reason. And it's so in front of your face. It's right here. Officer.
Because it would break the family apart.
Give him a hand. No, give him a hand. Do you know why they don't want to involve the police? They don't want to tell anybody? To save the family. To keep the family together. Because if you tell the police, what happens? Child services gets involved. The police get involved. And the police are the devil. So you don't know whether they're going to take the children. There'll be an investigation. People will be coming over to the house to preserve the family. You have to keep your molestation a secret. This is what Christ would have you do. Start a new family. Behold, this is my mother. These are my brethren. For whosoever will do the will of my Father which is in heaven, the same as my mother and my brethren. I don't need them. I don't need the family that cares more about keeping the family together than they do the victims of the family. I'll get a new family. I'll start over. I have a father, Commander General Yohana. I have mothers, a multitude of mothers. I have sisters, a multitude. Brothers, a multitude. Destroy your broken piece of garbage family and start new. Get rid of it. You don't believe me? Keep reading.
For whosoever shall do the will of my Father which is in heaven, the same is my brother and sister and mother.
Is this a man? He shall set a man at variance against his own household? I don't think it is. Where is that? Matthew 10 and 34. Here's the next one you need. This is the solution, man. Your solution. Your mother was trying to save the family. That's why she told you to shut your mouth about what your stepfather did to you. She was saving that family. She cared about the family. She wanted good Christmas dinners. She can't have you ruining Christmas with your child molestation. Saucy Santana's family, you know what they wanted? Good Christmases. Good Thanksgivings. You don't want child services all coming to the house. You make me sick with how you hate child services. You hate somebody knock on your door. Everyone should knock on your door. Everyone should be involved in your business. Do you know if it wasn't for Jesus Christ giving you mercy, do you know what I would do to your families? You better thank the Most High God you got child services, because I would take all of your children from you. All of you. I take your children because you argue in front of your children. You sit there and argue and yell and curse with some man in front of your children. You belittle and degrade each other while a child has to sit there and listen to it. So that child can need me to counsel that child. When I'm too old to do it, I take your child right now. It's less trouble for me. You better thank the Lord. Child services knocks on your door. You better have some fresh baked bread sitting on the table and a pot of tea sitting waiting to give it to them. Child services want to come in your house, open the door, let the house smell like fresh cookies. Put cookies in the damn oven and say, come on in. Would you like some cookies? I just put a pot of coffee on. Social worker, would you like some coffee? You want to talk to the child? Talk to them away from me when I can't hear it and talk to them in the other room. Talk to the child outside of my presence. Do whatever you want to do. My life is an open book because I care about my child being safe, not keeping the family together. The family might need to be separated, meaning that cousin needs to get the F out of here. That's what needs to happen. That stinking cousin, that filthy uncle needs to be in prison. Hold on one second. That filthy cousin needs to go to jail. That uncle needs to leave. You got some sick uncle living in your grandmother's house in a back room, molesting every child for 3 generations. Break up the family. Start a new one. Get rid of the uncle, the cousin, that old filthy piece of garbage stepdaddy that you have. Get rid of all of them. Start over.
Read.
Matthew chapter 10 and verse 34. Think not that I am come to send peace on earth.
That's your problem. You think Jesus Christ came to make peace on earth. You're so Christian, you make me sick. You think Jesus Christ came to bring peace on earth. You think Jesus Christ came to bring the family together. That's what you think, right? Huh? That's what Cam Newton thinks and that bitch thinks. To bring the family together. So we can all sit around a Christmas table. My molester, the one that stole money from me in high school, the one that stole my sneakers, the one that did this to me, the one that had sex with my girlfriend, all of y'all that sitting around the table together having a good Christmas dinner. F the family. F all of them. Their personality in you is why you can't go forward. Because of their demon, their sickness that they pass to you. You might have heard of it. It's called a generational curse. Where in the hell do you think you get it from? You get it from your family. That's why it's called a generational curse. Because you get it from your father, your mother, your cousins. It's called a generational curse. People always talk about it. No one wants to do anything to actually fight it, however. But we know life is about war and nothing else. You have to fight the family to have a new family. Continue.
I came not to send peace, but a sword.
But a what?
But a sword.
Jesus, this is written in red, young brothers and sisters. Jesus Christ didn't come to send peace, but a sword. A sword. Keep going.
For I am come to set a man at variance against his father.
What? With his father.
Against his father.
In agreement with his father.
Against his father.
Well, wait a minute. My father was an alcoholic. So clearly, I should be an alcoholic, right? Isn't that how it works? Ayashala, right? My father's a drunk. What do? I become a drunk. My father smoked weed. He smoked weed with me. So I should be smoking weed, right? My father was depressed all the time and drunk all the time. So lo and behold, I'm just like daddy. Isn't that what I should do? No. Jesus Christ came to set a man against his father. Your father was a drunk. You won't be. Your father was a crackhead. You won't be. Your father was a lustful pig who only cared about himself. You will not be like him, or else the generational curse continues. Keep going.
And the daughter against her mother.
The what?
The daughter against her mother.
Did your mother tell you to have that abortion? She said you had to have it for your career. What's career? What's the career every black woman does? LPN. You know, women do. Is that what it's called? LPN? License. What's the woman that not the registered nurse, but the other nurse that every woman does? What's the name of it, sisters? Licensed practical nurse. Your mother's going to tell you to have 3 abortions to become an LPN. I think you could have the baby and be an LPN. I think it'll be all right. To become a teacher's aide, you got to have an abortion? Are you joking? Are you kidding? I think you can have a baby and still be a teacher's aide and be what's the woman with the dentist office that helps the dentist? A dental you got to have an abortion to be a dental hygienist. I don't think so, sweetie. I think you can go ahead and do that career and have a child. I think your mother just has no. I think your mother is just immoral, and your mother listens to white people, and white people push abortion on blacks and Hispanics like it's birth control, and it's not. Keep going.
And the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law.
Now your daughter-in-law, she'll be against the mother-in-law. Why? Because your mother-in-law is a Christian and hates you, hates the truth, hates everything, and you'll be against her too. You're against her because Christ is making you be against her. Christ is separating you from her. Keep going.
And a man's foes shall be they of his own household.
A man's what?
A man's foes shall be they of his own household.
Now I just need you to answer one question for me. Why will a man's foes be them of his own household? Someone else, right here. What? Microphone.
because your family is the ones that's going to try to get you out of this lifestyle.
Okay, you're right, but you're not bringing me home where no one can refute it, and it's impossible to say it's not true because it's in the Bible. Ephraim.
Because Christ is separating you. Because he's
Come on, finish.
He's separating
because Christ started from the beginning.
Because Christ is separating you from your family.
Stop. Give him a hand. That's why. How do you fix broken families? I don't. I start a new family. I start a new one where everyone in there obeys rules. Rules. Your family was broken because you had no rules. No sexual rules. No financial rules. No rules. No rules of what a woman does. No rules of what a man does. No rules of what a child does. My new family is rich with rules. There's a way that Commanding General Yohana must behave himself. There's a way that every officer and captain and general in here must behave himself. There's a way that every woman must behave themselves. These rules didn't exist in your filthy family, which is why it ended up like that. Rules. Create a family with rules. In 1 Timothy, the Most High said that if a man cannot rule his own household, he cannot watch over the flock of the Lord. Now you have a new family that lives under rules. The Lord will be looking to see, do you conduct your new family with these rules? Because if you do, then you might be able to be a man in here of authority. But if you don't, then you can't have authority in here. This family has rules. That's right. Because of these rules, we don't carry on generational curses. We are blessed, and the Most High God serves us as his children. Everyone understands. With that, who am I giving it to? Say your name again up. With that, pass the class over to Priest Officer Karatazar.
Clap it up for the class. Men of Israel, we're going to give one courtesy salute. Men of Israel, Majum, which means to stand. Men of Israel, Majum Shabbat. Majum, Barak. Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Rakatah. Yasmatab, saw, and turn to the sisters. Sisters, Amajum, which means to stand. Men of Israel, we're going to give one courtesy salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, Amaj Shabbat. Amajum, Barak. Yahweh Shemar Atham Ba'Shem Yahushua. Yasmatab, class dismissed.